This video is sponsored by our Ultimate Vegan Cooking course. Learn the basics of how to cook without recipes and the fundamentals of plant-based cooking. It's currently 50% off. Link down below to learn more.
Yo dudes! Welcome! Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy!
And we hope you didn't burst your eardrum with that one. But welcome aboard. Today we're going to be making tacos. We love Mexican food. This is wonderful.
It's tasty, there's 4 parts to it. It is so worth doing. I love Mexican food and this is a tribute to all the things we love.
It's a really tactful way of eating in that you can assemble them together. It's a great one to share with friends and family.
Tactile is the word, isn't it?
Tactile, yeah, tactile.
We're actually going to make tacos, which are really easy out of corn and water. But you obviously don't have to make this step. We're going to make a guacamole, a salsa and a refried beans.
And we're going to use our friend, El Taco Press.
Very cool.
Pretty El Taco
So
Press.
stick around and watch this one. This is a game changer.
Yep, boom. First step, we're going to make a tempeh shawarma, which traditionally comes from doner kebabs or Middle Eastern cuisine, where it's thin slices of meat that just add grizzle, flavor, and just depth of texture to your
We're
dish.
going to make it with tempeh, so it's vegan, it's tasty, and it's easy and delicious.
Tempeh on its own can be a bit bland. Really important that we become this strong sauce that creates a little bit of browning around the surface and adds those wonder umami notes. Into our marinade, we have 3 tablespoons of tamari or soya sauce, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup or liquid sweetener of choice. I have half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, and I have 1 tablespoon of oil of choice. Mix that together and pour it in on top of your chopped tempeh and just make sure to give it a good mix. It's 300 grams of tempeh and we've chopped it into thinner strips. Just make sure to really mix it through so every bit of tempeh is nicely coated in our marinade.
We're going to bake this now for 20 minutes and give it a turn once or twice at 200 degrees. Okay, well the tempeh shawarma is baking. We're gonna make all our other components. They're quick, simple, and we should get them all done in 20 minutes.
First step we're gonna make is just a simple salsa. This is to add juiciness, freshness, and just variety of texture. For our salsa, we have 10 cherry tomatoes. Ideally, if you can get yellow ones or red ones, it just adds more color. I have 100 grams of cucumber and 1 small red onion. Chop them all into small, really small, consistent, similar sized pieces. Put them in a bowl. We're gonna put in generous pinch of coarse sea salt, nice little pinch of black pepper and 1 tablespoon of oil. Finally, just give it a nice little taste and check that it's seasoned to your palate. The purpose of this is that it's juicy, it's fresh, and it just brings something different to this dish. Okay, so we've taken our tempeh out of the oven and we're just making sure just to give it, obviously, if your hands are very sensitive, obviously use a spoon, but our hands are quite from years of working in kitchens, but just what you're trying to do is incorporate more of the sauce and encourage even browning.
So it's halfway through. I'm going to pop it back in and just give it another.
And you want to get
5 to 10
this,
minutes.
you see the consistent coloring, you want to kind of get it a little on the dark side. Okay, time to make our guacamole. We've got 2 ripe avocados. Make sure they're Hass and they're really ripe. Chop them in half. I'm going to take a spoon now and just scoop out the flesh from the skin and slice them into a small dice. Next step, we've got half a red onion. Chop it into a nice kind of little slivers, or if you want a small dice into that. Pop that into a bowl and we're going to take 1 tomato and just slice it up just like this into a small dice. In on top of that, now we're going to add in a generous pinch of salt, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin powder and half a teaspoon of black pepper. Take a fork and just mash it all together until it comes together into a real nice texture. Guacamole's done, tastes fab. Obviously, if you like it spicy, put in chili in this. However, I'm just keeping this light and mild.
Tempeh is done. I'm going to take it out of the oven now. Check out those delicious. So, wait and you see what we're going to do with them. Super, super tasty. Next step is to make our refried beans. We have 1 small onion and we got 2 cloves of garlic. I've got a pan on high heat with a tablespoon of oil and we're going to fry. So we're going to add in our onions first and just cook them down for about 3 to 4 minutes until they lightly brown. Then we're going to add in our garlic and fry that until it just goes all nice and golden. Okay, next step we're going to add in is 1 tin of black beans that we've drained and rinsed. So that's about 240 grams of cooked black beans, obviously a 400 gram tin. I've got 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. Next up, I've half a teaspoon of cayenne or chili powder. I have 1 teaspoon of ground coriander. I've got half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and I'm going to go with a generous pinch of coarse sea salt again. Incorporate it all together and just kind of give it a light little mash. Next up, I've got the juice of 1 lime, squeeze it in, don't worry, just get it in there and kind of mash it all together nicely. Finally, I'm taking some fresh coriander, also known as cilantro, chop it up nice and finely and mix it through. If your refried bean starts to look a little bit dry, put about 2 tablespoons of water in and just incorporate it until it comes together nicely. We're going to pop that in a bowl, ready to assemble.
Okay, for a spicy mayo, I'm putting in 3 heaped tablespoons of vegan mayo, and on top of that I'm putting in half a teaspoon of cayenne or chili pepper and 1 teaspoon of flaked chilies. If you do have Korean gochujang, that works great too. Mix it through and that's it. It just makes a wonderful spicy, creamy base sauce.
Now, if you didn't think there was enough steps in this video, we're now gonna make tacos from scratch.
I don't know if you've ever watched the DreamWorks movie called, what's it called?
Dos Bros Tacos.
No, it's called like Speed or something.
Turbo, yeah.
And in it there's these 2 Mexican characters called Dos Bros Tacos! So we've got a friend, Rob Freeze, gave me a taco press. So we're gonna make our tacos from easy. We're gonna simply use masa or Mexican corn. So many of the tacos around are simply wheat based, but traditionally in Mexico, they're made of cornmeal. And when you taste them, they're much more substantial. They taste really wholesome, and there's something lovely about it. So you'll be able to get it online. Obviously, you don't have to do this step if you don't want to, but it's really, really fun. So into cup, 1 cup or 1 mug. This is a 12-ounce mug or 358 grams. I'm gonna put in 1 mug of masa. I've got 1 mug of hot water and I've got a generous pinch of salt. Bring it all together. It feels a bit like Play-Doh. Don't be afraid of getting your hands stuck in. Make sure they're clean. It's really nice, really tactile. Bring it together until it gets a nice ball and it's sticking together. Out of this mixture, I'm shaping into 6 small balls. I'm gonna pop them into our taco press. Traditionally with the taco press, there's normally a little bit of plastic to stop it sticking. I'm just using simply baking parchment and that will work fine. Shape them out into nice, small, round tacos just like this. Our pan is nice and hot and then we're gonna brown them on each side. I found the easiest way to keep our tacos open is to put them in an inverted muffin or cupcake tray and it just holds them really nice. Okay, final step is we're going to prepare our shawarma. So our baked tempeh, we're going to slice it into nice thin strips so it kind of looks nice and meaty and it goes great on the top of these tacos.
Okay, now the most fun bit, pulling it all together. And at this stage, we're both actually really, really hungry, so I can't wait.
So it's pretty easy to do it just in the little cupcake holder. It just holds it open for you. I'm gonna go with a nice spicy mayo base. Next, we're gonna add in our refried beans. Next step, we're adding our guacamole, nice generous serving. Bit of salsa to go on top of that. And finally, a nice generous sprinkle of our shawarma, or a baked tempeh. Okay, might be a lengthy process, but it's so worth it. It's such a wonderful kind of tactile, communal, beautiful way to eat it. Do you wanna? Okay, I'll allow you.
I'll just have a go. Yeah, I've never actually had these. This is one of Steve's recipes, which he makes it looks amazing. Okay, this one I am dedicating to you. Thank you, Mexico.
I'd like to apologize to any Mexican person. This is our interpretation of wonderful Mexican food. If there's anyone watching that is Mexican and wants to shoot a video of how it's more done traditionally, this is my interpretation of it. Super tasty. Can I try it?
There's so many flavors. It's just, that is so satisfying. That is actually really worth it.
Mexican food is so good, isn't it?
There's so many flavors going on. The beans, the guac, the mayo, the spice.
Even the taco, because the taco is made with this cornmeal, it's much more substantial. It's
Yeah,
more
it's
wholesome.
soft.
It's got a lovely flavour to it.
Anyway, fantastic video. You can obviously make some of the components if you don't want to make it all together.
So flavourful.
And you can buy your own tacos or wraps or whatnot, depending where you live in the world. But really, really tasty. At the moment, we've got a 50% off discount on all our courses. If you're interested, there's a link down below to that. I don't know when you're watching this video. But
and we've just released a new book called Our Happy Health Plan. Do check it out, link down below. Thanks for watching. Gracias de México.
Para la comida que es tan
Increíble,
bueno.
lleno de sabor y gracias. Chao, suerte y buen año nuevo.
Besos y abrazos.
Chao.
Suerte.